All right, it was another crazy weekend of road course racing, and we're going to start off with Formula One. George Russell surprises on pole alongside the GOAT Max Verstappen, but the McLarens are directly behind them. But contact between the two teammates right at the beginning of the race set some concerns for damages and essentially keeps them out of the running for winning this race. But it's not much that's going to change up front. Nobody has anything for Russell, and he takes the victory over Max and Lando Norris in third place. Verstappen does cut into the point lead, but time is quickly running out to catch both McLarens for the overall championship. The McLaren team did lock in the manufacturer's championship, I believe, already. So now it's going on for the driver's championship, which they've only got like 2 or 3 races left, so it's going to be exciting to see who comes out on top. From one championship to another, we've got the ARCA Menard Series at Toledo Speedway. Brandon Queen, otherwise known as Butterbean, he's coming into this race pretty much having dominated the entire season. All he needs to do is take the green flag to lock in the championship entirely. He does so from the outside the front row alongside Max Reeves in the 18 car. And Reeves absolutely dominates the entire race. Even though there was a litany of cautions and many restarts that had to take place, he secures the victory, ending the ARCA season. Congratulations to Reeves and also to Butterbean for his first championship. It'll be exciting to see where he lands up next year. From the short tracks of Toledo, we go down to the Charlotte Motor Speedway at the Roval. And Friday, we have the Truck Series there for their first ever appearance on the road course. And to everyone's great surprise, Corey Heim is on the pole. But on the very first lap, in the very first turn, he gets shipped into the turn 1 wall, and it sets the 11 truck back behind the 8 ball right off the bat. Kind of looks like another race that I just witnessed the other day. Don't get too greedy. The trucks are a mite handful as many drivers lose control and stack up into the tire barriers and into each other in just the first 10 laps alone. But at the end of stage number 1, Caden Honeycutt in the 52 truck holds on to win, getting the extra bonus points and the playoff point for the next round. It is going to be vital for him, especially chasing that crazy 11 truck. Stage 2 sees just as many problems as stage number 1, with trucks spinning off into each other and all over the racetrack. But Corey Heim, that 11 truck, is slowly making his way back up to the front, and he will be a threat before this race is over. Honeycutt, playing the pit strategy here, does go back-to-back in the stage wins, maximizing his points on the day, and he's going to need it because up front in the final stage, we have Brent Cruz and Connor Zilich making a rare truck start this season. He wanted the extra practice for the Xfinity race. And they start up front for the final stage, but Corey Heim is now back up to third place and hunting them down. Brent Cruz, though, he is leading quite handily, but with 3 laps to go, suddenly reports that he's potentially running out of fuel. But he gets a lucky break as a caution comes out for a stalled truck on the track, and now most of the entire field ends up pitting. So Brent now has a chance to win this race. On the restart, Corey Heim, and that very damaged truck, shows up his dominating performance, leads on the restart, and sends it away as the field battles behind. And he did it the hard way, but he held off the entire field to win his record-setting 10th race of the season, finally become the sole owner of the most wins in one season, beating Greg Biffle's previous record of 9, and he does win over Brent Cruz and Gio Ruggiero in third. Heim has now locked himself. Actually, he was already locked in the next round last week, but he's got those 5 extra points getting set up for Homestead, and this guy's going to race for a championship. All the fun from Friday translates into Saturday with Connor Zilich, surprising, I know, sits on the pole for the Xfinity race at a road course. Go figure, right? He starts alongside Justin Allgaier, but the 88 scoots away to an early lead. And the stage goes pretty green flag for the most of the way until later on. The caution does come out, bringing all the leaders down to pit road. The 88 does have a slow pit stop, though, and has to restart in 5th place, but he uses that fresh rubber to grind his way past Nick Sanchez and Jesse Love to win the stage ultimately. He stays out for stage 2, keeps the lead, and maintains it through another restart. But when it comes down to the end of the stage, he's going for the race win, so he pits with 2 laps to go, handing the stage win over to Jesse Love. and Zilich will resume the race lead on the stage 3 restart. After that restart, Zilich just takes the commanding lead away from the rest of the field as they sort themselves out behind him. And as the race does start to wind down, darkness begins to fall, with the race ending under the lights, a la the 2020 race. If you know, you know. I was there for that one. It was a right mess. Fortunately, no rain this time, and it's actually looking really nice out there. They should do more night races here. But a late caution does come out with a mere 4 laps to go. Now we have an overtime finish. A savvy pit call for the 8 of Sammy Smith just before the yellow flag came out has him on fresh rubber right behind the leaders. But the 88 car of Connor Zilich is just too fast, and he ends up surviving all the carnage that swarms Calamity Corner down there in turn 7. The yellow flag comes out after Zilich had already taken the white flag, ending the race and handing Connor his 10th win of the season over Austin Green in the 87, getting his career best finish, and Sammy Smith manages to bring it back home in 3rd place. After all the fun and excitement from Saturday, we are now getting into Sunday with the NASCAR Cup Series. And an actual surprise now, Tyler Reddick steals the pole away from SVG. I know, insane to hear, right? And Reddick does take the initial lead on the start of the race, but it's only a few laps before Gisbergen takes the lead away. And the first stage goes pretty well in green. So there is some pit strategy to flip the stage for points, but SVG in this 88 car is just way too fast, and he ends up taking the lead back away from the people who stayed out and ends up winning the stage, just like he did at Sonoma earlier this year. Absolutely insane. Stage number 2 restarts, and we've actually got a new leader, AJ Allmendinger, in the 16 car. He stays out to take the lead for the restart of stage 2, but it's only a mere 10 laps before the man himself, SVG, drives himself back to the lead. Stage 2, however, sees the same strategy his teammate did the previous night. He pits with 2 laps to go at the end of the stage, allowing Ryan Blaney to secure the stage win and the extra bonus points that he technically doesn't need because he's already locked into the next round. But that extra 5 points, or that's right, the extra 1 point is going to make a big difference, as we saw later on in this race. Final stage. Van Gisbergen is still leading the race, but now he has new challengers in the form of both Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. Larson unbelievably manages to wrestle the lead away from the 88, and the fight is on for the rest of this race with all 3 of these guys. Pit strategy will decide this race win and also the playoff cutoff line, but we'll go into that part once we get to the end of this race because it was insanely down to the wire for that part of the championship. But up front, it's SVG, Larson, and Bell constantly swapping the lead. All of them trying to get to jump each other on pit road, trying to maximize their tires. And it winds down to between Kyle Larson and SVG, door slamming each other with 13 laps to go in an absolute slugfest, with SVG ultimately coming out on top of that. And the rest of this race miraculously stays green. I don't know how. Everybody keeps slamming into each other, hitting the walls, getting stuck in tire barriers. But SVG stays out for the remainder of the race and holds on to win his 5th road course race in a row. He is only 1 win behind Jeff Gordon himself for the most road course wins consecutively. Jeff has 6, SVG is now at 5, and he's going to have to wait until next year to try to beat that record, but it is easily within reach. The battle for the playoffs, however, comes down to the wire. When they take the white flag, Ross Chastain and Joey Logano are tied for the very last position to transfer to the next round. Logano has a tiebreaker, so Chastain needs to pass 1 more car. And on the last lap, the car right in front of him is his old buddy Denny Hamlin. And kudos to Ross. He did this heroically. Sent it into the very last chicane to try to get Hamlin out of the way. Ended up spinning both of them out, and both drivers rolled across the start-finish line in reverse. It was pretty cool to watch. But ultimately, Chastain was eliminated from the playoffs alongside Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, and Austin Cindric. And with that, the round of 8 will kick off next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's where the rest of NASCAR will be. ARCA is obviously done, and I believe Formula 1 is off, so it's going to be some stock cars this weekend. And I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do the ride-along for that. But that's all the action away from Charlotte. Got a little bit of extra news, though. later on this coming week, we will be, I will be getting streaming over on Twitch. Gonna get some more of the info put together, exactly who's joining me for what games and when. I will be doing some racing content. A lot of my recordings are going to be happening there now, but they will still be posted onto YouTube later on after all the editing magic is done. But I will also be having a second YouTube channel that's for all of the gaming content we'll be doing outside of NASCAR. So keep an eye out for that when that goes live, but I'll be sure to let y'all know when that goes. But until then, y'all have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch y'all on the shorts. Adios.